Hi, I'm Coleman Sawyer, and I'm doing a report on the Chinese Cultural Revolution. This revolution was basically a chaotic mass movement in the People's Republic of China, led by Mao Zedong. A big conflict in this revolution was the division among social classes. On page 29 in Son of the Revolution, he writes, "I was finding out how life worked. As Chairman Mao said, everyone had his own class position, and human relationships were class relationships that could not be transcended. There was no room for a personal life outside the one assigned to you by the party, and the party's values had to govern your private life, or you would be punished like Uncle Yan and Mother. The party had made us strangers to the woman who loved us more than anyone else in the world. It didn't make sense, but it was reality." And in that quote, we really see how destructive they made family relationships in China. We see that they assign relationships in order to keep families separated and to ensure that these families remain loyal to the party over anything else. And those who did not follow the party's rules would have been punished if they pursued personal relationships. The cult of Mao was another big part of Zedong's success in China because it really boosted his public image. This cult consisted of Red Guards and his ability to control propaganda. Red Guards were a student mass paramilitary group who served Zedong for what he demanded. And we see at one point in the book where they break into Liang's father's house and burn all of his old books that do not relate necessarily to the revolution or politics, how it was today or back then. And we see that Zedong can also control propaganda because everything that was put out into the public about him was portraying him in a positive manner. So nobody saw anything bad of him. That's why many people saw him as a godlike figure. We see that his propaganda can also ruin reputations. Like, for example, Liang's mother was criticized for being a capitalist, which goes against the party of Zedong, and she was sent away to a labor reform and ended up being divorced by Liang's father so he could try to save face. However, Liang's father was also criticized for being a rightist, which also goes against Zedong's party, and we see that his reputation is ruined around the community, and he is punished in certain ways. And it even, to an extent, affects Liang's face because he's associated with his father. And on page 76, there's a quote that says, "This cultural revolution was getting more complicated. It was hard to keep track of who was right and who wrong. One day you're black, and then you're red, and then you're black again," he said. "Children, whatever you do, please remember to be careful what you say. Never give your opinion on anything, even if you're asked directly. Just believe Chairman Mao's words. They're the only thing that seems to be reliable anymore." And this gives us a sense on what their society was like, because thinking for oneself and having your own opinions could have proven to be deadly in their society. Only Chairman Mao's words remain reliable, which emphasizes the fact that Zedong was looked upon as a godlike figure to this troubled Chinese society.